Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing one of the topic that is city creation. City creation, basically, we are discussing about the India account. In India account, basically, we are discussing SBI account, Amazon account, and third point is after 2 days, basically, the earthquake is going to happen. In that, basically, we are talking about one topic that is lava creation. What is actually the lava creation is, and we discussed that basically, lava creation basically is a future creation. Mumbai is telling that basically we want to create the future. So future means what actually? Future means your future means actually what basically? Future is basically for what basically? That is also question basically. Future is for any human and animal basically, and the nature basically which is in the Mumbai basically. So if you are creating any future basically, that means you have to take each and every parts of the Mumbai. And how basically they know that basically each and every parts are this all basically. That is question na basically. How basically they know that basically. For example, in Mumbai, Worli Bridge is there. So Lava Group basically who are creating the future, they decides that basically after a certain time basically the Worli Bridge basically will be there or not. So according to that basically they do the plan. According to that they do the plan basically. So you can just imagine basically the groups that is basically the lava groups. They know that basically how many station will be there in Mumbai in future. So you can just imagine up to what level their lava groups are doing the planning basically, and you will not able to believe that basically. Here basically we are discussing what 1 lakh projects which is created and which is getting on create basically and on the base of lava power supply data. And the power supply is what? That means one of the person told that when basically the that lava data basically is giving the power supply. That means the the lava data basically that is the land basically that knows that basically that in Bandra there is one Worli bridge. That's basically very dangerous thing. No, basically this is actually magical thing basically. If you see that basically it's a very dangerous thing basically. It's not dangerous basically, it's magic also you can say. That how basically they know that basically that in Worli there is one pool basically which is connecting to lots of which is connecting to 7 to 8 kilometers area. In Bandra there are list of complex. In Churchgate, not Churchgate, I think it's Mumbai. Yeah, in Mumbai Central, there is one Haji Ali Dargah. In the other, Siddhi Vinayak temple is there. In Mumbra, there is one station called Mumbra. There basically Mumbra Devi temple is there basically. So how these lava groups are moving here with this everything? That is not basically magical thing basically. Because according to that only they are passing the supply basically. That is the power supply. And on the base of that the 1 lakh 1 lakh project is getting created. If they have not passed this type of data, na basically, that means there is a error basically. But mostly they might have passing them basically. Reason 1 lakh project basically is getting success. Lots of people says that why basically our project are basically not getting success basically. Yeah. So if by chance basically the data has not taken into the picture, that means this is also one of the biggest reason of the unsuccess data. But mostly it's a lava group basically, so they might be considering this data. That is 100% sure basically. I'm telling you. That's why basically they are a lava groups company, na, basically, and they are connected with the satellite groups. So you can just imagine basically how the creation is. Basically. That means the lava groups know that basically this many train basically is running in Mumbai. This many vehicles are running in Mumbai. So matlab that this basically is not a magic basically. This is not magic basically. One of the person told that this is actually magic, yeah, basically. One of the person told that this is actually magic. One of the person told that this is really the magic, yeah, basically. How that lava department, that is the lava power group basically, that is the 1 lakh projects basically are getting the power. They are taking the power from that particular land, and that basically is a tectonic plates, whatever basically I have given the name as a tectonic plates, but it's a certain group of land basically. From that basically the power data are collected by the power companies, nuclear power company, and they are giving the power data to 1 lakh projects basically. So here the magical thing is that group basically know that basically how many trains basically are running in Mumbai basically. You will not believe basically that. So one of the person told that this is the real artificial intelligence project. If you see how one person told that basically how software industry introduced the artificial intelligence project. So one of the person told that the projects basically which are getting introduced in the market by the software companies, they know that basically how the things are connected. How how basically that lava group basically know that basically this many trains are running in Mumbai. That also with the time basically. That's why basically if any hartal basically happens in railway system basically, the governments try to solve as soon as possible because they know that everything basically is connected. That's why nobody basically take the risk basically. One of the person told that assume that basically somebody want to do the experiment. Just now basically I told whatever thing basically. He told that basically really Sunil Arna basically is telling is correct or not basically. That I want to do. See basically. So he basically told that basically I want to do Hartal of railway for 2 days. That is basically the Mumbai railway basically. So I want to check basically. At that time basically when 1 lakh project basically are ongoing, that time basically the power supply company basically is power giving the power supply, what is getting effect in the environment, and how this 1 lakh projects basically who are doing the projects in companies, is there any effect basically in their projects environment, or basically their behaviors, or basically when they are doing the projects what are the changes basically happening in their behavior basically, that I want to check. So for that he told that basically I want to stop the railway for 2 to 3 days just for Mumbai local trains basically. So he want to check basically really basically it is AI things basically is working here or not basically. So lots of people says that it might be possible that they might be checking basically, but you can't say basically, because if by chance basically railway system gets down for 2 3 days, something big might happen also. Why? Because power supply basically are created on the base of that at this time the railway system is going to run this many trains basically, and according to that the power supply are getting the data basically from the lava. So you can't imagine basically, I'm telling you, from the person told that it's very dangerous thing basically, the Mumbai is ongoing. That's a magical thing basically. One of the person told that Mumbai is running and creating the 1 lakh project, that is actually the magical thing. Why basically temples are basically in Mumbai? There might be some reason basically. Without reason, basically, Earth planet basically doesn't. Nobody creates anything basically. Nobody creates anything basically. Why basically the mosque basically are? Why the church basically exists? Why the temples exist? Why the Parsi Agyari exist? Why this all exists basically? Because one of the person told that we want to do some experiment, and they done this experiment basically. So what are the things basically going to happen? One of the person told that basically in lockdown basically they have done that basically. But in lockdown also basically train was running basically. That means they have some doubt. The people who are actually handling the Mumbai city, they have some doubt. In that doubt, basically they have not shut down the train basically. If they might have done, then that experiment basically they might have done that time only basically. Then is there any effect basically? And one of the person told that Corona basically came into the India. Corona came into the Earth planet. This is also one of the biggest reason basically. If I say that 70 percentage 70% disease basically which spreaded in environment, this data is also one of the reason. Why? Because they are spreading the data, but the data which is supposed to be in the environment, that is not existing. So one of the person told that the corona medicine which is created by the American or basically I don't know which organization they created or European whatever basically, they have basically taken this everything condition basically. People basically are not getting any type of problem. That means they might have taken the this condition, that is the lava which is getting this 1 lakh project basic. That means the corona group know that basically in Mumbai they when they have sent the corona injection in Mumbai, that time they know that basically in Mumbai in companies 1 lakh projects is ongoing, and that 1 lakh projects basically are getting the data from lava, that is the land basically. And they know that basically that land basically exists in this particular location, and they know that basically the nuclear power company basically are taking data from that land, and they are giving to the power supply company and the energy company, and that power company and energy company basically are giving the data to projects department, that is the companies who are basically currently doing 1 lakh projects. 100% they might be knowing basically on the base of this everything data only the medicine basically is created. So that is basically assume that basically they have created on the base of that only, because that's why basically the people basically are not getting any type of problems, and basically they are not getting any types of side effect. They are basically their body is not getting damaged. Everything is basically happening because it's American basically. It's the American group basically, and they always basically do 100% task according to the future plan. So assume that basically after corona medicine, not a single body basically parts got damage of the any of the people in India. I am taking the example of Mumbai. So they know that basically 1 lakh project is ongoing in Mumbai companies. And they know that also that this is the land basically from the data basically are getting collected of the power for this 1 lakh projects. So you can just imagine what actually this was basically. Corona basically medicine. Actually, what was this? That is very dangerous question basically. Then what was actually this? So the medicine department basically told that basically we know everything that basically you are taking the data basically of the power from this. and this many sun solar system is also ongoing, and we know that everything basically. According to that only basically we have created the data, and everything is going fine. That means everything basically has created that way only which basically I'm telling. So here basically I'm not telling that basically something wrong basically has happened and the body parts has damaged of any of the people. That basically I'm not telling. So here basically the thing is, here basically the thing is, whatever thing basically the any of the country creates whatever thing basically they creates, it's going to affect whole world one day. One day it is going to affect to whole world one day. That is 100%. So whatever creation basically they do, that is going to affect each and every country one day. That is basically the statistic data basically you can say. When basically it is going to affect that basically we can't see. That basically depends upon the power supply company basically they takes the they basically sends the power. And here basically I have taken the example of 1 lakh projects. Like this same way basically across the world also basically there might be many projects ongoing. So data basically are passed according to that. So another person, but this is the most dangerous matrix basically of the world. That is the power supply basically are getting the power. Sorry, the projects basically that is the software ka power company. Sorry, the project company basically there is a 1 lakh projects basically which is ongoing. Their owner basically are getting the power supply from these all areas, which is dumped long before basically that you have to take this data from here only. That means the data what they are passing, they group that group basically they know that like this the Mumbai city is created. What means they know that basically at this location this object exists. This many buses basically are ongoing in Mumbai. This many trains are running at this particular time basically. We will not able to believe it basically. This is a real time AI basically. So when AI, one person basically whoever basically has created the AI, he created on the base of this. So one of the person told that whatever things basically which is getting innovated in the software industry, the base are the creation only basically. In this basically, this is the perfect example of AI. So one of the person told that like this basically the data are getting passed in the environment of the Mumbai, and the data basically which is getting passed, they are passing the data according to current creation. So few people told that basically the lava company basically are passing the data, but the current object data basically are getting merged by the power company who are actually collecting the power data from the certain level of cities. So that area, that data plus the lava data, which is getting mixed, and they are basically passing the data to the 1 lakh projects. So they told them basically how they might be doing this here. Basically. This is also not dangerous basically. The matrix basically which somebody has created, that is the nuclear power company group basically, who created, who told that basically current data of the, there might be many possibilities. One possibility is the lava who the group basically who created the lava, they know that everything basically that at this particular time or basically at this particular place this all object exists. In Mumbai basically this many train basically is running. That they, the lava group basically knows everything. Second possibility is lava group basically is only connected with this 1 lakh projects. They are sending the data to the power company, means power companies are collecting the data, and that power companies basically are merging the data of current. city creation, which is already created, and after these two basically are getting merged and they are basically passing the data to 1 lakh projects which is ongoing, which is created by the set of level of companies, and the company basically are knowing that basically they are getting the power supply from this all methodology. So there are many methodology that also you can say, because this is directly connecting with the software industry basically. Lots of people says that ये तो यार you are basically discussing software industry or what basically, and this is the real software industry basically. This thing basically which I am discussing, that basically you will never get in any of the books basically, even basically in Oxford and Harvard books also. So lots of people say the software company who are actually creating the project, they know that basically that they are getting the power supply from that lava area, which is dumped long before by the lava creation companies. That this group basically knows how much dangerous the power supply are basically. And on the base of the software companies are creating the projects. So they basically told that basically we basically know that basically is the task of base companies like SAP is there, Salesforce is there, Microsoft is there, PHP group is there, then the C++ group is there, Java groups are there, their mainframe group is there, C is there, C++ is there. They are supposed to know. So just see basically how the things are connecting basically now. Why basically we should aware basically. They basically passed the responsibility to that group. Now that group basically what they are going to do? They are going to 100% going to tell that basically we have done according to that. That's why everything basically is running. Basically, otherwise basically it's going to run. That is also a question. They told that basically this is going to run. Basically, if basically it's not created like that, then this is going to be run. So one of the person told that also basically. He told that basically the creation basically which is done basically that actually was requiring lots of experiment. That today basically if railway system basically gets end, not end basically, will get stopped basically, then what are the effect basically going to happen? So lots of people says that this everything basically when the corona basically was came into Mumbai, that time basically everything was shut down, no, basically. But train basically was not shut down. Train was ongoing. That means somebody basically from Mumbai, he might be knowing that basically if we will shut down the train, lots of problem basically might occur. They told that basically we have done the shutdown of entire Indian railway system. But that basically who knows basically that railway basically was not ongoing. That is also question. In Mumbai basically local train basically was ongoing basically. Local train was basically running basically in Mumbai. So lots of people says that what was actually that? That means the land creation group basically who actually created the lava land basically, that is from the one that particular area, the 1 lakh groups basically are getting the power supply for the projects. They know that basically everything. They actually created AI basically, artificial intelligence, that when basically we are going to pass the data of power supply from that particular land area, this will be the environment of India. Sorry, the of the Mumbai city. Or basically, the possibilities are this also. They assume that basically they are not knowing, but they know that basically 1 lakh project basically is on way. On the base of the data is on way. and the current environment basically data is collected by the power company, and they are basically merging the data and giving to 1 lakh project groups who are basically most of the software here basically we are assume that basically 200 projects basically are ongoing of in software company in Mumbai city. Rest of projects basically are maintenance. So they do that basically the group basically who are into this they are basically the group is the company owner basically because manager director CEO this group basically don't know basically about where what is the power supply basically which is getting passed from where the power supply are getting the that basically and the current project basically which is ongoing that required some special power supply that is coming from that land area. So this whole thing basically manager, CEO, software delivery heads, they basically don't know. Why? Because in project management plan, nothing is basically written like this. Basically. They only connects that basically this is the project management, this is the project, and the project scope is this, scope means the boundary of the project. And if you are doing the preparing the project management plan, these are the scope, these all are the communication plan, these all are the specification, these all are the sign of mails. This whole thing basically they know. This all will be the UTCs, this all will be the project specifications of each and every project. This will be the high level design. This will be the low level design of the projects. This will be the architecture of the project. So that basically is defined in the lots of people says that the architecture designer basically who are actually designing the project, who are actually writing the architect, who are actually real the architect basically we can say, who know that basically if this type of projects comes, they basically have to develop in this technology only. So they basically know that basically everything, the power supply basically which is going to come when the project is going to be live. Lots of people say that यार ये system क्यों slow चल रहा है? The main reason is this only basically. When the project was created, here basically whenever the groups who have done the system designing, they basically know that basically this many this all data basically are getting used in the power supply. This all are basically the question very dangerous thing basically I'm telling you. Because this is going to create problem in future that means currently basically that is the future basically because according to the lava land basically the 1 lakh project is already created na? That is almost basically many projects are created, many projects are basically on the maintenance side. So anybody basically has faced any type of problem basically, that all are the basically questions basically, and that connects to very dangerous level basically. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this topic that is the 1 lakh project basically which is ongoing in Mumbai city, and which this 1 lakh project basically which is ongoing they are basically getting the projects on the base of the power supply. Sorry, the power supply basically is giving the projects data power data to the 1 lakh projects, and 1 lakh projects basically is ongoing on the base of this power supply data basically which is coming from that lava land areas which is created long before basically. So next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic.